what was I saying? So welcome, and I am grateful, and I know Joan is grateful. Everyone is really busy, and we're so grateful that you took time out of your schedule to spend time with us on a Saturday and to hear what we want to share with you. So, my name, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Nisha. I'm a mindset coach and a self-love expert. I'm super happy to be here with my good friend and colleague, Joan Nwosu. She is a conscious love architect, and I'm going to lead this off and take you through the journey I've been on, and then I'm going to hand it over to Joan, and she has some really amazing nuggets to share around human design and love. So stay tuned for that. So here we're talking about how to become the one who attracts healthy love. Okay, we're all high achieving women, and so all of you I know are successful in other reasons and areas of your life, careers, finances, friendships. You're very capable, smart women. And you're probably the person that other people lean on, right? You're the one that kind of gets things done. But when it comes to love, maybe it feels like something isn't working. So I'm just wondering if this sounds familiar to you. If it does, feel free to drop a yes in the chat. I would love to know. I know that it's something that I have struggled with, but this is kind of something that's I find kind of crops up a lot with high achieving women. So a bit about me. That's me in my corporate suit. I grew up with a very challenging relationship with love. I learned that love was unconditional, unsafe, and it was very temporary. And so because of the upbringing that I had and the experiences I had, I built a life where I didn't need anybody. I have a career, I have 4 degrees, I made my own money. I got a high from achieving, I still do. I climbed mountains and I jumped out of planes when I was in burnout because I got a high from it and I needed the high. And I became my own plus one and I called it strength. Now, don't get me wrong. Y'all know, for those of you that know me, I'm all about self love. You need to be your own plus one, and being strong is amazing. But for me, it just got to a point where I couldn't let anyone in, right? So when those patterns become challenging, that's when we need to pay attention to them. Behind the achievements, for me, there's been a lot of grief and loss and trauma. Um, and I kept attracting unavailable men, and my patterns just kept repeating. And for me, the record that I kept playing, if you can relate to this, drop a comment in the chat. I'm broken. I'm not lovable. Who's gonna love me? There's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. Some combination of that. That's what kept repeating for me. And I saw something in the chat. I'm going to just pop that up. Yeah, more power. I love that. Pooja is saying she struggled with being an over empath. It is a real struggle. And so that's why you have to take care of yourself, right? Where's my. Okay. And so the love I was attracting wasn't healthy because I wasn't healthy. I wasn't emotionally available. So it's no wonder I was attracting men that weren't emotionally available. I had role models that were not emotionally available. So the men I sought out were therefore not emotionally available because that was what I saw as real love. And so I was trying to attract love from an outdated identity. And I'm going to talk about identity more and more as I go along. If you're wondering what that means, stay with me. So I was trying to attract healthy love from a version of myself that was still carrying all of my stuff, my grief, my loss, my wounds, my mother wound, my father wound, my trauma, my upbringing, like all of the stuff, the baggage, right? That baggage that we have. I was trying to go out there and attract a partner from that place and that version of me who believed that she was unlovable and broken. And what I learned the hard way through my experiences and spending a lot of time with myself was that I had to learn to love myself. I had to become the partner that I wanted to attract. Okay. The biggest lesson I have learned, if there's one thing you take away from what I'm saying today, is I had to upgrade my identity to become the version of myself that was available and ready for healthy love. And I keep saying healthy love because we all know there's a version of love that is not healthy, right? When you're in a healthy relationship, you're nourished and you're supported. So we want healthy love. We don't want the version of love, for example, that I talked about that was temporary and unconditional and unsafe. Okay. And so I had to upgrade that version of myself. The woman in this picture, she looks a lot healthier than the corporate suit who felt like she had to hustle and perform for validation and move outside of herself to get what she wanted. And so that's exactly what I'm here to show you how to do today. Okay. So now, what sounds most like you right now? Drop your letter in the chat. A, I do everything myself and I struggle to ask for help. B, I feel exhausted from carrying so much alone. C, I want love, but something invisible keeps blocking it. D, I keep attracting the same unavailable person over and over, or the same type of person. E, all of the above, or maybe there's something that's kind of in between here that resonates. So if there's one that resonates with you, drop it in the chat. Oh, we got an E and we got a B. Carrying so much alone. Yep. And a C. Judith is saying, yep. So, I mean, we're all feeling these things in some form, right? So the good thing is to really become aware of this. My mouse is all over the place today. So I want to next kind of go through three myths that are probably keeping you stuck in your love life, okay? My mouse is out of control today. Myth number one, we've all heard this, oh, you just need to find the right person. So how many of you have heard that? Oh, you just need to meet the right person. I'm not saying there's not some truth to that. So if I look at, Sheryl Sandberg on the right, I'm sure most of you know who she is. She used to be the COO of Meta. Very high achieving, accomplished person. And when her husband died, she really struggled to get support from another person, to open up to another person, to be able to receive from another person. And through doing her own inner work, she eventually did meet someone else and remarry after her husband passed. But this is a woman that is very successful and has accomplished things. But again, in love, she struggled, right? So we attract what we expect, not what we want. So that, like, let that sink in. You attract what you expect, not what you want. When I heard that the first time, it really, really landed with me. So if you think about what you're expecting in your love life, maybe it's something like, oh, it's too late for me, or there's nobody out there for me, or relationships are hard, or whatever the story is, whatever thoughts are coming up for you consistently, what you expect is what you attract, not what you want. And until that internal shift happens, the pattern is going to keep repeating no matter who the new person is. So this myth that you just need to find the right person, not necessarily true. Myth number two, I need to be perfect before I'm ready to love. This was a big one for me. Beyonce, we all know who Beyonce is, right? Queen Bey. She has been very open about the fact that she overperformed and she shrank herself even in her marriage, right? So overperforming, overdoing, over accomplishing. I need to be perfect. I need to do all this work on myself, or I just need to perform and be perfect. And the more good I am, the more perfect I am, whatever version that is for you, then I can go out there and meet someone. And I struggled with this for a long time. And so perfect is another way of staying safe. My good friend says that perfection is the lowest bar that you can set for yourself. It doesn't exist. You don't need perfection. You need honesty and vulnerability because what we're talking about here is worthiness, and that's an inside job, right? So even someone as successful as Beyonce struggled. Myth number three, and this one is really big for high achieving women: my independence is my superpower. Now, again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being independent. I am naturally someone who's very independent. But when we talk about hyper independence or we talk about taking it to this whole other level, in your love life, it's really hard to let someone in if you're like, I'm so independent, I don't need anybody, I can do everything by myself. So, Michelle Obama, we all know who she is. She talked openly about her struggles in her marriage and feeling like she had to do everything by herself, and even struggling to let her husband, Barack Obama, to let her do things for her. So, independence is something that helps us in our life. We need it to do things, absolutely. But it's also the thing that can keep love out because it creates this armor, especially if you've been hurt or you've had stuff happen where you're like, oh, I don't need anybody, though I've got walls, I'm not going to let anybody in. So, again, my independence is my superpower. That's not necessarily helping you in your love life. So you don't have a love problem, you have a relationship with yourself problem. This is about building a healthy relationship with yourself. And this is great news because you can actually change the relationship you have with yourself starting today. So being here is a really, really great first step. Now, the other thing I want you to take away from what I'm going to talk about is this is the missing link. This is what I've spent over 10 years. It took me over 10 years of inner work to figure out. This is what so many women get wrong. Okay. Self love, loving yourself, being the partner that you want for yourself is the prerequisite and the companion to romantic love, to healthy romantic love. Most women get this wrong. Most of the women that I talk to in the middle of their lives that are maybe divorced or have come out of long relationships, this is the first thing they tell me. I didn't love myself enough, Nisha. I wasn't valuing myself, or some version of that. You can only give what you already have. So if you don't have compassion for yourself, how are you giving it to another person? If you don't believe that you're good enough, that belief is going to play out subconsciously in every relationship you enter, even your friendships. If you don't know how to receive love from yourself, to treat yourself with kindness, the way you would treat your partner, you're not going to fully be able to receive that for another person. So the big thing is, and Joan is going to echo this, is we attract love from wholeness. This is what society doesn't tell us. This is what we miss because we're taught that we're just supposed to go out there and find someone to love us and that another person is going to be that Advil. Absolutely, we want to attract someone that is going to be there to love us and support us, but it really starts with you because nobody else can fill what you haven't given yourself. And that's the main message I have for you. That's why the work starts here. Okay. So now what's the solution? The solution is to understand your identity and then upgrade it. Now, what's identity? When I think of identity, I think of the witness protection program, right? You got 24 hours and you need to create a new identity. Your identity isn't a label, it's the collection of thoughts that you repeat without noticing on autopilot. It's the beliefs that you've probably never questioned. It's the habits, again, that are running on autopilot, and it's the emotional patterns that you've inherited long before you even had a choice. So some of the stuff that's going on within you, it's not yours. Maybe it's stuff you inherited from past generations. Maybe it's stuff you inherited from your parents. I've inherited karmic lessons from ancestors that weren't even mine. So your identity is your habits, your thoughts, your patterns, your standards. It's how you show up in the world. Okay. So that version of you is different from the version of you that has the love she wants. So we need to upgrade it. Now, how is your identity formed? Okay. How does this happen? Well, we're born and we have experiences. And those experiences cause us to have thoughts. And those thoughts we keep repeating, they become beliefs. A belief is just a repeated thought. It's something you say over and over and over again. So if you had a bad relationship and it was really hard, you may have developed a belief that said, oh, relationships are hard. And then every time you think about getting into a relationship, you think, oh, that's hard. Relationships are hard. That's a belief because it's a rehearsed thought. That belief forms a behavior. It causes you to either do something or maybe not do something. And the collection of all these experiences and beliefs and behaviors forms your identity and who you are being and what you're doing and what actions you're taking. And that ultimately impacts the results that you're getting in your love life. So nobody wakes up and decides to become hyper independent or somebody who needs to do everything alone. We don't form these things when we're babies, we come out pure, right? We have experiences because somewhere we learned, I have to hold it together. Nobody's coming. If I soften, I will get hurt. Or some version of that if that looks slightly different for you. You've learned these beliefs from your experiences. And so the thoughts become habits, the habits become behaviors, and these behaviors become the identity running your love life. So the good news again is that if an identity can be learned through experience, it can also be changed. And that's why you're here. Let me just see if I missed anything in the chat. Okay. If any of this is resonating, feel free to drop something in the chat. Let me know. So now how high achieving women show up in love. There are generally a couple of patterns, and these are kind of intermingled. So I wanted to share some of them today. I've experienced these myself in my own relationships. The strong one, she holds everything together. Nobody asks if she's okay. Um, Letting love in means allowing someone to see past the strength, and that feels really dangerous to you. The responsible one, are any of you feeling like you're responsible? You carry everything, the bills, the decisions, the planning. And relationships, maybe you're the one that overfunctions, and then you wonder why you feel alone inside them. And then the overfunctioner, right? You earn your place. You overgive, you overhelp, you overdeliver, you do everything. You learn that love comes from performing, from being useful, from being needed. My experience growing up was that I got love and attention and praise when I did well, when I got good grades, when I got degrees, when I made money. That's when I got love and praise in my own upbringing. And so that's why achievement became such a such a crux for me in my life. Again, there's nothing wrong with having achievements, but I was getting my validation externally. I have 4 degrees. I climbed a mountain a 19,000 foot mountain when I was literally in burnout. Who does that? Right? So when I was in a bad place, I did things because I needed the high, because I learned that if I just do well and I achieve something and I make it happen, then I'm good. And I burnt out for a decade. So I've been all of these, and these are kind of linked, right? Like we're kind of saying the same thing here. So I would love to know which pattern is most you, the strong one, the responsible one, the overachiever, or a mix of all three. Put it in the chat. Or is there something, some version of this that maybe doesn't resonate with you, that there's something like this that makes you think like, oh, I have a pattern? Put that in the chat. I would love to know. Overfunctioner. Me too, Judith. Way over functioning. So again, there's nothing wrong with being strong and responsible and making things happen. But responsible, Sarah's talking about responsible, right? So as high achieving women, we do these things and they serve us in other areas of our life. But when you're up in your head and you're performing all the time, It's exhausting. It can burn you out, and that makes it really challenging in your love life. Okay. So these are not who you are. Oh, where'd my mouse again? Um, they're what you learned through life. And again, I keep saying this, that what you learned can be unlearned. So the painful truth here, and this was a huge realization for me, is the very thing that made you successful in life is what's keeping love at arm's length. Strength, responsibility, and functioning, they're not flaws. There's nothing wrong with you. They're just survival strategies. And they serve us well when we want to make money and we want to tick off the to-do list. But now they need to evolve if we want to become the version of us that is able to attract the love that we want. Okay. So the contrast that I'm talking about is this. I want to paint this vision for you, right? Is to go from being self-held to self-loved. Okay. Self-held is, I'm earning love through what I do. I do everything alone. I carry everything alone. I can't be weak. I can't be vulnerable. Control became my safety. If you're afraid to kind of go with the flow and let things happen and trust, control was really hard for me, especially I spent years going on dating apps. And when I decided that I just didn't want to search for someone online, I hated the online space and I just really struggled for a long time with not being on a dating app and doing something about my love life because I couldn't trust that the right person would enter my life if I just lived it. So when we feel like we need to make something happen, that's fear and control. Okay. I protect myself from pain. We want to go from that to being self-loved. So I'm worthy. I'm going to move the pictures in the middle. I'm worthy without proving it. Like I'm worthy because I just know I am. I receive support without any kind of shame. I can ask for help. I trust myself enough to be seen. Vulnerably, honestly. Weakness, I trust myself to be seen vulnerably. That's not weakness, it's just vulnerability. Safety comes from within me. It's finding safety internally and knowing that you're safe and training your nervous system to know that it's safe. And then I have standards and I stay open, right? So that's the shift that I'm really talking about here. So now, if you have a pen and paper, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and I'd love for you to just kind of take 2 minutes and just journal on this. Who have I had to become in order to succeed in life or to kind of get to where I am? And is that same identity helping me or limiting me in love? So I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes, and I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to do some reflection, maybe do some journaling and write on that. So take 2 minutes just to think about that. All right, just a couple seconds left. And if you have any insights that you want to share, you're comfortable sharing in the chat, please feel free to share. Sometimes we can learn from what other people are going through because we can resonate with it. So now, very quickly, I just want to redefine what self-love really means. It's kind of like this term when we all think we should do it, we just don't know what it is. It's not fluff, right? But it's not bubble baths and spa days. It's not being selfish. It's not a good feeling on a good day, and it's not a destination you arrive at. It's a lifelong process, right? Your relationship with yourself is a lifelong courtship. When I talk about self-love, what I'm talking about is things like setting a boundary when it's hard, speaking your truth when your voice shakes, asking for help and letting it in, and consistently choosing yourself. Okay, so it's less about how you feel about yourself on a good day, and it's more about how you show up for yourself on a hard one. Because when we're having a great day, I mean, it's really easy to go, I'm gonna, buy myself some chocolate or whatever, and that's great. We should all be doing that. But how do you take care of yourself and how do you talk to yourself when you've made a mistake or you've had a bad day or you need to have a difficult conversation, right? That's when that relationship with ourselves matters. So the four pillars I go through with my clients around building a healthy relationship with yourself are self-love, self-worth, self-trust, and self-care. These words are thrown around all over the place interchangeably. So I just want to quickly demystify them for you. Self-love, when I talk about that, how do I treat myself? That's impacted by your self-worth, which is what you believe about yourself. Do you believe that you're worthy of love? Do you believe that there's somebody out there for you? Self-trust is, can I rely on myself? So we had a lot of people register for this masterclass. I applaud all of you for showing up. There's a whole slew of people that didn't. They registered, but they're not here. So if you say you're going to do something, do you do it? You ladies did it and you showed up. Can I rely on myself? So if you want somebody to trust you, can you trust yourself? And then self-care, the actions that you do to take care of yourself. They all are kind of linked together, but hopefully that gives you some clarity, right? And like I said, healthy self-love is the prerequisite and companion for healthy romantic love. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you normalize and what you expect. So I'm going to start closing this out here so I can pass this on to Joan. But everything is going to shift when you stop looking for someone else to make you feel whole. We attract from wholeness within, it's within us. But when we expect for someone else to do that, that's when we get into trouble. So Jennifer Lopez, extremely successful, beautiful, she's been very open and her love life has been very public about how she spent years trying to find love within her relationships and from outside of herself. And she realized she had to find it internally, right? And so that's really what we're talking about here. So I want you to think about if somebody treated you the way you treat yourself, would you feel loved? Or would it feel inconsistent, unavailable, and maybe a little confusing? Put your answer in the chat. How would you feel? Trying to get the chat going. So just think about that, right? How do I treat myself? And if I treated someone else like that, what would that feel like? Okay. So how do you make this shift? How do you become the version of you that has the love that you desire? Oh, my mouse is out of control, ladies. The three C's of identity change, this is what I talk about. So, commitment, consistency, and congruence. Commitment is where you choose a new identity. Okay. You make a decision. I'm no longer the woman who survives. I'm a woman who's open to being supported, chosen, and loved. Then we consistently practice this daily because you don't change your identity in one day. It's by small daily choices that say, this is who I am now. And then when you get to congruence, that's where your insides match your outsides, and who you are on the inside matches who you are being on the outside. So if you get asked to go somewhere, do something, and you don't want to do it, if right now you're saying, yeah, I'm going to do it, and you don't want to do it, you get to a point where you build up enough confidence to say, no, I'm not going to do that thing. That's alignment and that's congruence. Okay. So you can't think your way to a new identity. You have to live it. And this is why I talk about becoming her. And this is why a lot of women who try to do this alone also end up in the same place. Okay. So I want to pass this off to Joan because it's getting to be about 11:40. But before I go, I just want you to take a moment to imagine the version of yourself who already has this love you desire. She's the most authentic version of you. And just for a moment, think about what has she stopped doing that you're still doing right now? So if you're over functioning and you're being responsible and it's preventing you from getting into that relationship, right? What is that version of you now doing? Is she now resting more? Is she setting boundaries? What does she finally allow herself to receive? And what feels natural for her that feels scary for you right now? So maybe write these questions down or take a screenshot of this on your phone and just ponder this when you have a moment. Who is that version of you? And in real life, just another example, Viola Davis. She wrote in her memoir that she spent most of her life believing she was unworthy of love because she had told herself internally that she wasn't good enough. The woman won an Oscar, right? So the worthiness wound, it doesn't care how successful we are or how much we do on the outside. It's always there. Mel Robbins, very open about being capable, high functioning, and quietly falling apart. But internally, she was exhausted from carrying everything alone. She couldn't receive support. If you're exhausted from doing everything alone, I know that was a big struggle for me. It's hard to attract someone when you're exhausted all the time. So I had to learn to set boundaries and ask for help and say no. That's the work. Okay. So I'm going to stop here for now, and then I'm going to stop my share. That's what I wanted to share with you today. And I will be back towards the end. And I'm now going to pass it over to my good friend, Joan.
That window muting. Awesome. That was great, Nisha.
Thank you.
And sometimes we hear these things over and over again, but sometimes it just takes it being said in a particular way for it to land. So I hope everyone's getting something out of this because the goal is for us to shift our identity and attract the love that we're looking for. Alrighty, so I'm going to start sharing. Hopefully you all can see my screen. This a little bit.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. Perfecto. Alrighty, so we're talking about all things self-love, and self-love is actually a frequency. It's a particular gate in human design. So I'm going to be explaining how everything ties in together with everything that Nisha has been talking about today, because this is truly the foundation. So the problem keeps changing because every time I speak, I learn new things. And then I'm like, oh, I need to reflect on that and really, really get to the bottom of a lot of the things that are happening in the world today. Because the world as we know it, when it comes to love and relationships, has changed. So here are some of the four problems that I'm seeing that are happening with high achieving women today. Most women in this room, or in general, high achieving women, have a very clear picture of what they want. So you might see things like good looking, successful, emotionally available, spiritually aware, financially stable. Great. And yet, the men that you're attracting don't match it. So maybe the problem isn't the list. Maybe the problem is the foundation. So we're going to talk about that today. Another one is You've defined relationships as companionship, fun, someone to do life with. Like when you hear that, it almost sounds like, yeah, of course, sure. But, and we're going to talk about that. When the goal of a relationship is happiness, then it means that your screening now becomes about, oh, chemistry. Do I feel excited? Does it feel easeful? Right? Is it just someone that makes me laugh and is fun to be around? Those things are real, but that's just the whole picture. We're going to get into that. The next one is you're looking for a relationship to make you happy. So you're constantly looking for somebody that makes you feel good. When it feels rough or it feels icky or it feels like it's stretching you or challenging you, it's like, no, that's the wrong relationship. It's time for me to get out of here. The truth about relationships is romantic relationships, if they've been defined, that's just Hollywood. Relationships have a deeper meaning and purpose. And once you start to understand what that purpose of relationships are, it will start to define and change how you choose partners. So that list that I mentioned initially, that list will start to change. The way you screen the people that you meet, that will start to change. And obviously, the men who show up, who you attract, will change too. The last one is around discernment, and that's been a lot of my work lately. So you can't tell the difference between chemistry and alignment. You keep chasing that spark and choosing that. Chemistry is real. We feel it. It's like, oh my God, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't get him out of my mind. Great. But that's not what alignment is. Alignment has absolutely nothing to do with chemistry, to be honest. But a lot of us have not been taught what alignment looks like. People use the word, it's a buzzword now, alignment. What does alignment actually mean? A lot of us don't know what it is, so we're not able to discern. And so when discernment becomes a problem, it is you have the wrong goal, you have the wrong definition of relationships, wrong criteria. What happens? Same man, just a different face every single time. So those are kind of the four things that I'm going to hope to cover in the next 30 minutes. Okay, so who is Joan? Who is this lady who is talking about alignment and stuff? So I define myself as a love architect. So when you think about what an architect is not someone who just says, okay, let's start painting the building, let's put the windows. No, an architect, before any building even goes up, will go and survey the land. Okay, what does the land look like? What can it actually hold? What does this land need? Right? What will collapse it if we built it the wrong way? What is the foundation? So an architect is all about the foundation. So for me, before we jump into let's start choosing a partner, we look at your blueprint. How are you actually wired to give and receive love? Not cookie cutter, because we don't all love the same way. Your unique way of loving, of receiving love, and what would actually feel safe for your system, what will make you feel connected, what will not ask you to collapse or to shrink yourself, right? Where are those shadows that, Nisha was talking about, is those programmings, those belief systems that have been running the show. It's different for everyone. We need to get rid of those first before we start building your future relationship. And, like Nisha mentioned, one of the myths is that people just say, once I find the right person, I'll be good. No, you won't be good. The building will crumble. It could take 3 years, it could take 30 years. That structure will crumble because the foundation hasn't been built properly. So that's what I do. I'm a love architect. I help you to decode the way that you are designed from love, and then we build it from the bottom up. So you're not just building on broken foundation. So this was my wedding day. I wasn't getting married to 7 men. No, it was just one. But I have been engaged 8 times. And on my wedding day, my wedding dress actually ripped from the top to the bottom. That was the universe telling me don't do it, but of course I ignored because I thought I could fix anybody. And so it was the same pattern over and over again in my relationships. Obviously, I did not have an attraction problem because I've never been single since I was 12. So it wasn't that I wasn't attracting people. The problem was I did not know how to discern alignment. So everybody who looked great on paper, who checked off all that list I had in my man list, let's go, let's do this. It was always perfect. I'm always in long-term relationships. And so I thought I had a problem. I was broken. There's something about me that after a while things start to fizzle out. It wasn't that I didn't love them or they didn't love me, but at some point our lives were just going in very different directions. The future I envisaged for myself wasn't happening. I was growing, they weren't growing. So now there's a lot of friction and the relationships always had to end. And so a pivotal moment for me was realizing that it wasn't that I was in bad relationships. It was that I was in misaligned relationships. And then the question became, well, what does alignment mean? How do I know if I'm aligned with someone or not from the beginning so I don't spend another 2, 3, 4, 5 years only to find out that we're not aligned. So here's what the things I do. So I have a love gate system. Today I'm going to be talking about just one, which is the gate 10, which is the self-love. It's written about in my new book, which is coming out later this year, and I'll tell you a bit more about that later. I'm also the creator of the Real Attraction Pyramids, the Become the Aligned One program. I've just recently launched a LACE program, which helps people assess alignment before they jump into the relationship. And I'm also the host of Love by Design podcast. Okay, human design. So as I was saying, for a long time, I was trying to figure out, okay, so what is this foundation? How do I know how everybody is different, how people are uniquely designed for love? And then I found human design, or human design found me. So here's what Ra Uru Hu, the founder of human design, says about love. It says that human design is here to strip away the generalizations that torture us, that we somehow have to be exactly the way Hollywood does it or whatever. Each of us is unique in our capacity for love, and we all have it. The moment you are living out your nature, you get to experience your capacity for love. And that is something very special. When I read this, I was like, oh my God, this is it. We have been taught that everybody should want love the same way, butterflies in the belly, jet off into the sunset. A man is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed to do this, all the conditioning, all the programming, and that has tortured us forever because we're constantly looking at other people and being like, I want that. That should be me. Why can't I have that? Well, you are unique and you are designed uniquely for love. So the sooner we start figuring out how you're designed for love, the sooner you can now embrace that true identity. And from that, attract the right person for you. For you. That's the critical keyword, for you. Okay, I cannot see anybody. I cannot see the chat. But if any of this is resonating, please let me know. Or if you've heard about human design, or you've used it, or you know your love gates, pop it in the chat as well. So I want to start off with the real purpose of relationships, because I've been studying this for a bit now. I've found that one of the biggest challenges is that people are still stuck on the old, outdated version of what relationships are. And so I have about 20 that I've put together, but these are my top four, right? The first one is from Eckhart Tolle, the author of The Power of Now. And he says that relationships are about awakening, right? So relationships are here to make you conscious, not comfortable. Can you imagine that? Meanwhile, everything that we were taught about relationship is like, oh, feel good, be happy, have fun, get along, don't no quarrels, zero arguments. But that's not the real reason. That's an incomplete version. The friction that you feel in a relationship is not failure. It's a method for your awakening. And it doesn't mean stay in unhealthy, toxic relationships. There's ways to identify those ones. But healthy relationships also mean relationships that challenge you, that bring out parts of you that need to awaken so that you can grow. Relationships are here for growth primarily. The second description that I like, which comes from Javier Hendricks, says that your partner is a mirror. They are the trigger, and the trigger is the curriculum. So it's all about healing. Your partner is not the one who caused your wound. No, Nisha already talked about that. We have all these unhealed wounds and patterns that we've just carried over. Your partner will reveal it. Intimate relationships are the most powerful ways today, not your parents, not your kids, not your colleagues. Your intimate relationships will reveal the unhealed parts of you quicker than anything else can. They are the mirrors. So the trigger that you're getting, the trigger that's coming up in the relationship is directly pointing to what needs attention right now, what hasn't healed and still needs to be healed. So when something comes up, rather than say, oh my God, you're a narcissist, you're toxic, sit with it and look at it. What is this trying to show me? What is this trying to show me about me? Because it's never about them. It's always about you. It's internal. And so the relationships will trigger you for your own healing. The third one is about wholeness. Relationships are here for people who are whole. Only two whole people can truly love. So this is not about, oh, I'm here to find my missing half. Oh, I'm here to find somebody to complete me. When I meet the right one, then my life will be complete. I'll be whole. No, you won't. Relationships are not two halves. These are two whole people. then there's stuff that needs to happen for you to be whole. So you can be whole and still have wounds. But it's two people who know that I am whole and complete. And yes, I do have some wounds that I might bring to the table. Like Nisha was saying, you don't have to be fully healed. You just need to find somebody who's whole and is also willing to go on that healing journey with you. So that's from Osho and Sadhguru. And then the final one is Transcendent. So this is from A Course in Miracles, amazing, and probably one of the best books of our time. A Course in Miracles and Marianne Williamson. And it says every relationship is a holy assignment. It is not a reward. It's not, oh, if you're good enough, then you deserve a relationship. No, we know a lot of good people who are single. It is not a reward for being good, right? It is a holy assignment between two people with shared goals, with shared support, who are here to help each other on that journey. Marianne Williamson says, they are hospitals for your soul. So a relationship is where you will be forced to grow or it will destroy you. So everything that's coming up is coming up to help you grow. So when your definition of a relationship is too small or it's incomplete, then obviously your criteria becomes extremely small and incomplete. And then you keep repeating the same patterns and wondering, why are there no good men out there? Or what is wrong with me? Am I unlovable or unworthy of love? Okay, so moving on. Why self-love is the starting point? Well, like I talked about, real relationships require you to be whole. Most women are trying to find love before they've done this. No. Then wholeness. To be in a real relationship, you need to be whole. For wholeness to happen, wholeness requires radical self-love. I'm not talking about the Instagram posting yourself and becoming this, oh, look at me now. No, the real version. And this means accepting all parts of you, including your shadows, because we all have two sides. We have the gift and we have the shadow too. But if you spend all your time trying to suppress or hide your shadows and just be like, oh, I'm so great, well, the relationship is going to open up those shadows. And then what? So wholeness requires you to show up as both aspects of you, embrace all parts of you, and show up as your true self. So radical self-love requires your true self, not the performed version, your true self, not that independent armor that Nisha was talking about, the actual you. That is radical self-love. And then your radical self-love requires your true self, and your true self has a design. And that is where human design comes in, because human design is so specific to you. So now it's not this generic, okay, all women are designed this way, all men are this way, and every woman needs this from every man. It just doesn't work. That's not how it's designed. Everybody has a unique design for love. And so when you understand your design, when you know who your true self is, when you embrace your both sides, your shadows and your gift, you radical self-love, then you can be whole and then you can attract a whole relationship. So this is kind of how it works. From the ground up. You can't start from the top down. No, from the ground up. Okay, maybe I should pause. Is this resonating? Yeah, Nisha, you do have the self-love gate. So it's a little bit easier for those who have this gate 10 in their design. The rest of us have to kind of learn it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, wait, now my mouse is acting like yours. Okay, so love gates, love gates, love gates. So like I mentioned, I did just write a book on the love gates. And what I found is in human design, there are 64 gates in total, but there are 10 that are specifically about love. And out of those 10, they're kind of split into two, where you have the transcendent and then you have the mundane. So the transcendent love gates are love through someone to connect to someone higher. So there are people who naturally are just looking for, oh, I want to connect to something bigger. I love the mountains. I love the ocean. I just love being in the world. They just love humanity. They want to fight for a cause. Those are people who have the transcendent gates. Those who have the mundane gates are now love through love with someone else. So this is the intimate personal love. And that's kind of the one, the romantic love that we're talking about. Most people have a combination of transcendent and mundane. Some people have only transcendent. Some people only have mundane. I only have mundane. So I don't understand transcendent love. I just have mundane gates. And it resonates with why I'm doing this work as well. So as you can already start to see, a person who only has transcendent gate might be challenged when they're dealing with somebody who has mundane gates, because already fundamentally there is a problem. He wants to save the world and fight for causes and go to Ukraine. And you're like, I want to spend time, be with me, let's cuddle, let's. He's like, I need to save the world, right? So understand, it doesn't mean that a person who only has transcendent gates cannot be in a relationship. No, it just means that they now have to learn how to love a person because they're not wired that way naturally. And same with somebody who has mundane, they have to learn how to love a person who only has transcendent. Because it doesn't, I don't understand it fully, but I can appreciate because we need people to fight for causes. We need people to care about the environment and care about um, the ocean and the walking on the grass. Somebody has to do that, and somebody can teach me that too. So I know when people say this, they're like, "Oh, I'll just rather be with my type." It's not about that. Is it about understanding how you are designed, understanding how the other person is designed. And now both of you can kind of walk this journey together. So love gates will predefined in your chart. They tell you how you choose your partners, how you give and receive love, and how you negotiate for safety. So how you start to shape shift because now, okay, I need to be this to get that. We jump into the shadow of trying to earn love. So these are just the 10 gates. I'm not going to go into them today. We're focusing on just the first one, which is gate 10. How do you figure out what your chart is? Okay, yeah, I'm going to get to that, and I'm going to show a QR code where you can run your chart and just see which of these gates that you have. So 4 transcendent and then 6 mundane. Gate 10 is actually the most special of all the gates because it appears in both the transcendent and mundane. So for someone like Nisha who has the gate 10, she can see the gate 10 from the transcendent. So this love of being alive and being on earth, and also the self-love part of it. So she can do both. She can straddle both the transcendent and mundane. So gate 10 is actually one of the most special gates. It's the only one that appears in both in the entire human design system. So why does this even matter? Well, when you understand your love gates, everything changes because now you stop chasing, you stop repeating the same patterns, and you just embody your own unique frequency of love. Energy never lies. I always say people do. Energy never lies. Energy is always right. But you have to learn what is mine, what isn't mine, what do I need to let go of, what do I need to embrace, what do I need to own, how do I need to show up. You need to work with the right energy or your own frequency so that you can attract the right person for you. We're not trying to attract everybody. We're only trying to attract aligned partners. So gate 10 quickly. I'm going to breeze through this pretty quickly. So gate 10, beautiful. It sits in the center, in the G center, which is all about love. So Nisha already started to touch on some of these as she was telling us about her experiences, and you can kind of see how that shadow shows up, where she was saying, this constantly looking for approval, trying to overdo, overgive, overfunction so that you'll be accepted. That is the shadow of the gate 10, right? Where your self-worth depends on being chosen, being seen, people validating who you are. So you're either people pleasing or hyper independence. You're abandoning yourself just so that someone else will not reject you. You're constantly waiting to be chosen rather than choosing yourself, right? You're desperately seeking that external approval. Look at me, look at me. Do you love me? Am I enough? Am I enough? Right? And some other extreme parts of it is you can be completely aloof. You can be completely detached because now it's like, oh, I don't need anybody. I'm good all by myself. I'm an independent woman, right? I'm good. I got me. That's an extreme of the shadow. So for people who have the gate 10 defined in their human design, they feel this more than the rest of us. And so they will struggle with these shadow expressions if they're not aware and they haven't healed those parts of them that makes them feel unworthy, that makes them constantly seeking this external validation where they can now come home to themselves. So a reflection will be, where am I still negotiating truth for validation? What would it look like to be me fully, like fully be seen? Fully be open, fully be vulnerable, fully be able to say, this is all of me, good and bad. The right person will love both sides of you, not just the one that looks great on paper. So this is a shadow expression of gate 10. But as with everything in human design, two sides, gift and the shadow. The gift is beautiful because, like I said, I don't have this gate, so I can only learn about it from people like Nisha. So the gift expression of gate 10 is this really the sovereign self. If you think about this queen who is just an embodiment of her glory, where everywhere when she steps into the room, she's just radiant and people can't stop admiring her and just be like, wow, there's just something about her, right? She's just herself. She's just authentically herself without performing. She doesn't have to try. She just shows up and people can already feel her energy, right? She sticks to what is aligned with her. Nisha talked about this congruence. So it's not, oh, I do this, I do. No, no, no. You stick to who you are and you show up as your true self all the time. She's able to be soft, but yet bounded. She can still set boundaries, but in a softer way, not this rigid, put up the highest wall ever that nobody can scale through. So she has boundaries, but she's still soft. She's still open, right? She chooses her partners from wholeness, not, oh, I need to find a man. I don't want to be alone, or I feel lonely. No, it's not about that. She has to be whole on her own. Her worth is not up for negotiation. It is, this is who I am. I'm a sovereign being. I know my worth, and that's it. The right people show up, the wrong people fall off. She wins either way. So it's great. So these are the gifts of the gate 10. I'm enough exactly as I am. And that way your self-love just naturally flows to other people. So reflection for this is, where am I still not showing up authentically? Like I said, authenticity means showing both sides of you. And what would it look like to love from overflow rather than from, oh my God, come and love me so I can love myself, which is a very common one for this expression. Okay, radical self-love. I want to talk about that because I think it's very important too. So radical self-love is not a feeling, it is a practice. It is not just, oh, like Nisha was saying, let me just go feel good about myself and go to the spa. No, this is something that you do every day. This is how you show up. It is accepting every single part of you, the shadow and the gift, the wound and the wisdom, the woman you've been and the woman that you're becoming. All of it makes you authentically you. It is showing up as your true self without performance, seeing yourself clearly without shame. It is staying open to love even after everything that has tried to close you. It's all about authenticity, awareness, and openness. This is the real work because you can have authenticity, have awareness, and still not be open. It doesn't work. All three have to work together for you to win in this. So authenticity, quickly, this is loving the whole of you, right? It's not about being your best self. No, it's about being your true self. Just show up as your true self all the time. So you've accepted all parts of you. Yes, you're healing along the way. It doesn't mean that you're completely healed, but you're whole. You know that you're whole, but healing is just coming along because the shadow expressions will keep showing up from time to time. And they're not flaws. They are just part of who you are. It doesn't make you less worthy of love. It just makes you human and a complete being. So when you stop performing for love and you start showing up as your authentic self, two things happen. The wrong people take off and the right people will be attracted to you. Love or attracting the right people becomes a lot easier. It becomes effortless because there's no performance. So your truth is no longer too much the truth of who you are. It becomes the filter. Yay, nay. Thank you. Moving on. So where am I still editing myself to be more lovable? Where in your life are you still editing yourself? The next one is openness. Nisha, you started to touch on this, but I think the more and more as I look at what's happening today, I see that a lot of women are closed off. They're closed up. They say they want love, but they're closed. I want love, but I refuse to be vulnerable. I'll only be soft when I meet the right man. That's being closed up. That's not openness. Openness means that you're staying receptive to what love wants to bring into your life. And this is hard. This is one of the hardest parts of radical self-love, especially for high achieving women who've spent their lives building this amazing life, who've probably let people in the past and then they disappointed them, right? Who feel like, if I just let my guard down for 1 minute, someone can come and ruin it. And so it's like, nope, nope, I'm going to protect this for as long as I can. But the more you protect it, the more you close those doors, it closes the door to love as well. So radical self-love includes softening without losing yourself, without that desperation, and being open to receiving without guilt, because you can be whole and still want to be held. Every single high achieving woman I've spoken to agrees with this. Yes, I'm independent, I'm whole, but I still want someone. I still want to be held by someone else. But love cannot enter a closed door. So we're really going to be working on how to be open today. So ask yourself, why am I still closing my heart? What am I still trying to protect? What are the experiences that I went through in life that have built some beliefs around what love is, or how dangerous it is, or how I'm not going to be vulnerable until XYZ, or that has closed your heart to allowing love to flow in? because there's no scarcity of men. We know that for sure, men and women. So if you're not attracting the right people, or you're not even attracting anybody at all, then openness might be what is happening subconsciously. You're not open. You might think you are and say that you are, but your heart is not really, really open. So I have something for you. If you stay tuned, we have a little openness work to do later on. Okay. Awareness. Awareness is all about being present, seeing yourself clearly so that you can choose differently. This is how you discern. It's not about self-criticism, it's about self-witnessing. So this is about you catching yourself in the moment. Every time something happens, you're catching. Not from a, oh my God, is this going to work, or desperation. No, you're able to just sit back and pause and just look at everything and discern. Read your body, right? Know that, okay, I see you. You've come up again. Yeah, this is what happened the last time. You need to stay aware so that you can assess and discern things properly. You can catch those patterns, those same man, different face. You can catch them quickly. And that is how you start to choose the right partners. You need to stay aware to be able to discern properly and choose the right partners and the wrong ones. So you can just say no, because there's no point waiting 3 months or 3 years to find out that that's not the right person for you. So the more you practice awareness, the more you're able to read and say, oh, what is this coming up? Is this my shadow or my gift? Oh, is this a pattern, or is this a conditioned belief, or is this truth? Then you can start to make the right decisions and start to only allow aligned partners into your life. How to date consciously. Nisha, this is especially for you because you and I have had many conversations about the dating apps. So I just wanted to share a few pointers on, okay, Joan, this sounds all well and good, but dating still makes me feel icky. I don't want to go on the apps. I don't want to go on speed dating. I want him to knock on my door and just show up. Okay, so here are some things that you can do to start dating consciously, not just dating for dating's sake. So number one, know yourself. Like if you don't know yourself, it doesn't matter. You're just performing, you're putting out whatever you think out there is going to get you the largest number of people. It doesn't work. It feels icky. It feels irritating. You just attract every thing out there. And then you start to struggle because now you're getting the lower vibration version of people, and that's not fun. That's when the dating apps become completely painful. So know yourself and show up authentically. Already hammered on that one, right? So you know your love gates, you know who you are in love, you've looked at all your shadows, you've chosen to be in the gift expression, and then you show up as that. Like I said, the right people you will start to attract differently right away. The moment you show up as yourself, not some cookie cutter dating profile, or you show up outside and you're showing up in a certain way because someone said to you that red attracts men. No, show up as you, as the real you. And then you will find that you will start to attract people. The second one is stay open and stay aware. So those are the two things I just talked about. Because if you're not open, it doesn't matter. And if you're not aware to discern, then it still doesn't matter because openness makes you attract the people, discernment makes you say yes or no. So you kind of need both to be able to navigate dating consciously today. The third and final point is around choosing alignment over excitement. Excitement is fun. You meet somebody and like, oh my God, I can't stop talking about him. Did you see this? Oh my God, a lady said to me, Joan, he has hair. I said, are we still talking about he has hair as a criteria in 2026? Come on, you're 60 years old. And she was like, no, he has hair, right? And sometimes we fall back into some of these patterns that we do where we get excited over things that have nothing to do with alignment. So before you start talking about, oh, how does this person make me feel butterflies in my stomach? You need to start asking, does this person actually have the capacity to meet me where I'm going, where I'm growing? Because those are the things that are going to determine if there's long-term future for this relationship and whether this person can actually hold the version of you that is unfolding, walk with you on that journey, become that doctor because relationships are a hospital for your soul, become the doctor that's going to help you on this journey while your soul is healing. So this is how you date consciously, whether it's on the dating apps, whether it's in-person dates, speed dating, introductions, it doesn't matter. It's the same. As long as it's an opportunity to meet somebody or to be in an environment where you're potentially going to meet somebody, show up with these three things. Know yourself, show up as that, stay open, stay aware, choose alignment over excitement, and your dating game will start to change. Okay, so this is my final slide for you. And it's just a brief meditation because I've been talking a lot. And so this is just supposed to, I'm trying to find the screen, to ground us, just to bring us back to earth. So if it feels comfortable for you, I want you to just go ahead and close your eyes and place one hand over your heart. And then take a deep, slow breath in into your heart center. Just breathe it all in and hold it. Hold it there. And then release slowly. I want you to feel your chest soften and expand. Give your heart permission to open. No more performing, no more protecting, just open. Another deep breath in, slowly. Breathe in the love that is already available to you, the love that you have been learning to give yourself. And breathe out. Allow it to flow outward to what is coming, to whoever is on their way. Just let it all out. Release the need to hold, to force. You don't need to force this. You don't need to earn love. Life flows to you naturally. It knows exactly what you need for your growth. And the final breath in, breathe in love, breathe in softness, breathe in wholeness. You are already whole. There's nothing to fix. You are worthy of love. And finally, breathe out slowly. Release everything that is holding you back from the love that you deserve. Let it all go. You don't have to struggle. What is yours is already yours. Okay. And you can open your eyes now. Nisha, are you there? Oh, just lost
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm here. That was great.
Okay, awesome. Can't see anybody's face as freaking wait. Okay, hang on.
Yeah,
Let me.
Pooja says that felt awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Nice to
Uh, yeah. So Nisha was already. I'm just going to show the slide that has where you can get your gates.
Yep.
Um, so this is it. The first one is to, if you scan it, it will take you to a form. You just need to put in your birth details and it will show you your love gates so that you can understand how you're uniquely wired and designed for love. And then that's the second QR code is to pre-order my book that's coming out in November.
Amazing.
Awesome. So Nisha,
Yeah, I'll just,
over to you. I'm going to stop sharing.
okay, amazing. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly share my screen again. Okay. So, oh, I lost everybody. There we are. Okay, so I hope you all found that. Love it when Joan talks about human design. It was something I have just learned about in the past year as well, and it really is very transformative when you realize that we're all individually, uniquely wired for love. Um, and it's like, why didn't I know this information sooner, right? Because we try to put ourselves into these cookie cutter boxes that we're told we need to do. So thank you for sharing that. I've pre-ordered my book already and I've already gotten my Love Gates report. And I'll tell you, when I first connected with Joan and I'm all like, oh, I'm the self-love maven, this and that. And she's like, do you have the self-love gate? And I was like, I don't know. What gate is that? I didn't know the answer. And then for a moment I panicked. I'm like, oh my God, if I don't have it, I'm a fraud. Like, right? Like I was like, what if I don't have it? What does this mean about me? And so the first thing I did was look and I'm like, oh, thank God I have the gate. So that makes a lot of sense. So I encourage you all to take advantage of that. It's revolutionary and she's talking about the new love languages. And when this comes out, you're going to think, man, I was on a call with this woman and I heard her talk about this. So, on my end, your next step, I just want to give you some options to, if what I've said resonated, to continue to engage with me. Some of you follow me online, but you can start here. Your first option is a breakthrough session. My clients have been having amazing, amazing insights through these sessions. It's a private 1 hour coaching session. And what I do is I use a framework called neural energetic encoding to really help you connect to that 10 out of 10 version of you that I keep talking about, the version of you that has the love she wants, because she's in you. You just need to get at her by clearing away all the stuff, like all that baggage. And so we really go from where you are today to where you want to be, that version of you. And you'll walk away with a roadmap of essentially what you need to release and bring into your life in the way of your identity, those thoughts and patterns and beliefs to get you to where you want to go. So there's a code there. You can scan that QR code, Blueprint. You can get $50 off of that. There's also a link there if you just want to type in the link into your browser. So that's an option for you. And for those of you that are like, I'm done with insights, I'm ready to go all in. My 3 month experience is something that I'm happy to offer you, and that's private one-on-one coaching for 3 months. The price point is there. And I use subconscious reprogramming techniques, um, neurolinguistic programming, EFT hypnosis. So I use various reprogramming techniques to help you release the stuff. And I can tell you, as somebody that's been at this for a decade, I had the most results through like learning and awareness and doing stuff like this. But your subconscious, there's stuff rooted in your subconscious from when you were like 2 years old. There's stuff we hold that you can only release when you talk to your subconscious mind. So I use a combination of modalities, self-love practices to really take you through those 3 phases, that 3 C's that I talked about: commitment, consistency, and congruence. Because ultimately, I want you to commit to having the relationship with yourself that you want, the way you would commit and say I do to a person. This work starts with you saying I do to yourself, consistently doing the work, engaging in the practices, dealing with that inner conversation, and then getting to a point, like Joan said, where you have alignment and you're living in wholeness. And then watch what you attract from that place is so much better. So there's a QR code there for you as well to book a call with me if you want to learn more about that. So we'll leave that with you. And that's just a summary again of what I talked about. If you need to note down the URLs, and I thought I had a slide that told you how amazing you were at the end of it, but I guess it didn't make it in there. It said, you are lovable, you are worthy, you are good enough. Those are my 3 things. So I will end this by saying that. So honestly, your worth is inherent. And all what Joan and I are saying is we're ultimately saying the same thing. Society doesn't teach us this. The world doesn't teach us this. And the fact that you showed up here today is a sign that you're ready for something different. Because it's really easy to just go out there and try to find somebody, but we don't want to just find somebody, right? We want to find alignment. And we do that when we heal the relationship with ourselves. And when you love yourself first, your standards, your inner worth, I can tell you what's happened in my own life is insane, because my worth is rock solid. Even on the days when I hate myself, like I still have bad days, but now they're blips. And it's the most important work that you'll ever do. So it's 12:20. We were here till 12:30. So I'm just gonna open it up. Joan and I are gonna open it up. We've got 10 more minutes. If there's any questions that you have for either Joan or myself, we're more than happy to answer any of those questions. If you want to come off mute or put yourself on video, that's fine too, or not. You can stay off video. Does anybody have any questions or comments or insights? Anything anything sort of resonate for you, or any aha moments for anyone?
I'll say like the whole thing resonated for me.
Yeah.
So yeah. I did have my human design done a few years ago. I have to go back and see what if I have the gate 10 or whatever. I haven't, it's been a while since I looked at it, but yeah.
I'm glad. And I think Joan can respond to this, but if you don't have a gate, can it be learned?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not, nobody's doomed.
Yeah. And nobody has all gates. I haven't met a person with all gates. Like the most I've seen is a person who has eight, uh,
Mm.
but most people have two or three, right? And so the goal is not to find someone who is exactly like you. Your goal is just to find someone who is aligned with you so they can show up in their own expression of their love gates and you can show up as yours. And it's more fun because now you're seeing different ways, different expressions of love.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad it resonated, Judith. Yeah. Anyone else? No? All right.
I can go, Nisha.
Hi, Pooja.
Um, I I loved your presentation, Nisha, and Joanne, yours was so insightful. I think this is the first time I've ever heard somebody actually talk to me one to one about the human design. I think a while back there was somebody who actually told me that my human design was, if I remember correctly, it's a um, manifesting generator or something, MG, and I'm married. My husband's is projector, I guess. I don't know how that works, but yeah, I think yeah, that's the only information I have about the human design. But yeah, I liked the way you spoke about alignment and versus chemistry. I would like to make a comment on that. In today's day and age, unfortunately, the society does not reward when you go for alignment. And it pretty much looks like, oh, she is a gold digger, or, and I know alignment is not always about money. Sometimes it's business, love, your values, your principles. And they're like, oh, it's almost like a contract marriage. So there is something in it for everyone, and I have seen few cases. I do not particularly work with couples, but I have few friends who are told that that this is what they were told by other people in the society and the community. So yeah, I really really appreciate the message that you are giving out to the world, and it's so important. Yeah, but this is the kind of lens that I wanted to bring. I'm sure you would have come across this before with your client base or community. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's about changing the way we look at it, and it does not matter how others look at it. So that's my take.
Yeah. And it's thanks, Pooja, for sharing that. And even if we look at the history of relationships and love, the what we're doing, what we've been doing over the last 50, 60 years hasn't worked. It's not
Right,
working. It hasn't worked. But
right,
we're stubborn because that's the only thing that we know. So it's like, if
right.
not, then what? So
Exactly.
hasn't been a different way to look at relationships. We just watch all these movies and we think, oh my God, if he has money, then we're good. Because now
Hmm.
we're told that money makes everything, what's the word? Money makes everything, makes the world go
Yeah,
round.
money makes the world
Right.
go round.
And we were just chasing the money or good looks, right? Oh, power couple, they look great together. We can show up in pictures and people are like, oh my God, she's so cute.
Hmm.
And then we start chasing all of that. So it's all this
Right,
external validation or the way we look in public or security. There was an era where it was all financial security. So
right.
powerful families will want to marry other powerful families because they wanted to keep the wealth going,
Right.
right? So all of that is part of our history, but we've
Yeah.
evolved. We've become more conscious beings where relationships are asking for growth, for
Right.
internal personal growth. But where do we go for that information? Because, like, okay, no one's talking about it in Hollywood, right? No one's talking about it on social media. People are still showing up, oh, he just bought me a brand new car. And other women are looking at their husbands and like,
Why
what
don't
have
you
you
have
done?
my
What
car?
have you done for me lately? So
Exactly.
it's a lot of reprogramming, a lot of reconditioning, and just looking back and saying what we've been doing hasn't worked. Why are we still doing this? Why are we
Hmm.
still choosing the people that give us butterflies in the belly?
Hmm.
Why are we still choosing money over does this person even see me? Do they respect me? Do they care about me? Do they care about my dreams, my goals? Our goals aligned? Are we moving in the same direction in life? People are not asking those questions.
No.
And so he comes from a good family. She comes from a good family. She has good genes. She has childbearing hips.
Yes,
2026,
that
really?
matter.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for
Thank
that reflection, Pooja.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing everything you
I
both did.
I learned from my human design that I will I had to start doing like fulfilling my purpose and my mission before I attracted the right person, and then I'm destined for a divine union. So when I was burnt out and overgiving and overfunctioning and in corporate and all of that, and I'm dating and I'm trying to like, it's not working because I was emotionally unavailable, right? It was never going to, right? So it's just fascinating to me that when I looked at my human design, I was like, are you kidding me? It was just, it literally, everything that it sort of quote unquote said has played out. So you know, it can be validating, and then there can be some things in there. I think that it's a content you contemplate it, right? You contemplate what you find. So, uh,
Mhm.
yeah, it's been very interesting. And Joan has put a link in the chat if anybody wants to take a look at that for you to get your chart. Any before we close this for today, does anybody have any other thoughts they want to share? All right. Well, I applaud all of you. Thank you so much for being here and giving us 90 minutes of your time. Uh, I congratulate you because that shows me how committed you are to yourself. So, thank you so much for being here. You will see a recap email from Joan will send one out, and I will send one out from my email list as well. And so you're more than happy to get in touch in any of the ways we described. If there's anything we can do to support you, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, Nisha. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye. Thanks, Suzanne, for being here. I just removed her. That's my dog, my groomer.
Have you stopped recording? You can stop recording so it
Oh,
doesn't.